are an irritating little sod.
Happy with that? Yeah. Good. And if you feel the car, you can feel it actually start to rise up. Because off-road number 1 brings the height up, the height number up. Okay? And if you look on here, you can see it happening here. Okay? But we want to go to a minimum height too. So if you come back here, push that button, it will pop up. That's the one in the middle. So yeah, give it a push, it'll pop up. One click to you. Good. And then push it back down out of the way. And what you've told it is to go all the way up to height number 2. So you're raising the height of the car up to give us ground clearance. Okay? Next thing we want to do is go into low range. Well, we can't change it into low range unless we're in neutral. So foot on the brake and gently move the gear selector either up or down, doesn't matter, up or down, so it moves into neutral for me. Okay, you're not squeezing on the brake at all. So just go squeeze the brake on. That's it now, move it gently up or down. Brilliant. Okay, you went too hard, you went all the way to drive. Move it up gently to neutral. That's it, good. That's it, and release. That's it, release, good. Now if you push low range, it will allow you to change the gear selection. So push low range for me. Good, and you can hear it go bing, and it tells you in the display that your low range is now on. Now when I drove up here, it drove quite smoothly, didn't it? Now when you drive down the slip road, you'll actually hear the difference. It'll make a real revving noise as it goes. Okay, so we've got low range on, we've raised the height up, and we're in off-road. So we're more or less ready to go off-roading, aren't we? Good. Yeah. Squeeze on the accelerator gently and have a look at the display. You see it shows you how hard you're pushing it. Yeah? Squeeze on the brake. And it shows you now on the brake, foot over to the brake, squeeze on the brake. Push it down and you'll see how hard you're pushing it. And that's really important because it's all about this throttle control and brake control as we go over things. Yeah? Happy with that? Yeah. Good. Foot on the brake. Select D for drive. Good. Take the handbrake off. Take the handbrake off. That's it. Gentle. Good. And take us round to the left and down the gully. To look down the gully at where you want to go. Nice and gentle. Good.
I'm going to crash, I know.
Of course you're not going to crash. And straighten up. Nice and gentle. Good, brilliant. Now then, as we come down here, accelerate a little bit and you'll hear the car will really rev at you. So accelerate for me. Good, accelerate a bit more. Can you hear it really revving at you? It's a real revvy noise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good.
That's cool.
And that's because we've got all of that. Oh no, we don't want the power. Don't keep doing it. Okay, come off the brake. Come off the brake. Come off the brake. Off the brake. Just gentle throttle control. Make it move down. Good. Just gentle. We don't want to use the power like that. We just want to show you that the power is there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely. Okay. Lovely. Nice and gentle. Nice and controlled. Good, keep it coming down. Good, gently as you go. Oh, zip them in. And gently, just let it get itself all the way back up. Get it and gently through you go. Good, and line us up towards those big rocks. Good, and gently stop. Good, okay, now then, stop. Got to keep your foot on the brake, otherwise, got to keep your foot on the brake, otherwise it's going to drive away from you. Okay, so, with these rocks, think about it, if you went fast over them, what would it do to the car? What would it do to us?
Probably shake us.
Yeah, and do what else to the car, do you think?
Damage it.
Yeah, damage it. So you don't want any throttle at all unless the car can't cope on its own. Does that make sense? And even if it can, you don't want that big whack of throttle you've been doing. You want gentle control. So all we're going to do here is quite literally just drive straight over them. So take your foot completely off, put your feet flat on the floor. Both feet flat on the floor. Good, perfect. Oh, okay, it's all right. It's because you pushed the brake so hard you got the hold on. There you go. Just go dead straight. Absolutely controlled, dead straight as you go. Good, perfect. Now you will feel as it goes up some of these rocks how it really slows down. There, feel it really slow down as it's going up. Yeah, okay. So be careful. Just be careful with the videoing. Yeah, officially you're not really supposed to. Yeah, you have signed a form to say that.
Oh.
But I don't mind. I don't mind. But just be careful because when you're doing this, obviously you could drop it or break it or whatever, which is why they ask you to sign the form. So it's not their responsibility. But just be careful with the videoing.
Sure.
Good, nice and gentle. Good, and gently stop for me, Oliver. Gently stop. Good. So would you go keep your foot on it. Would you go the car got over quite nicely? But can you feel as it goes up some of those rocks? It really wants to slow. So of course the brain says accelerate. If you accelerate, it's going to go bang over the other side. It's all about throttle control, brake control. Good. When you're ready, drive on down for me. Good, lovely and controlled. Good. Now then, none of our water is so deep that we can't go through it. But if you were ever off-roading properly, the first thing you would do is always check how deep it is before you go in. Because if you went into a really deep river, we'd just be turned into a submarine and then you'd be in big trouble. Get a little bit of throttle control, drive it through, just a little bit. Good, lovely, keep it gently going. A little bit more than that, keep it moving, Oliver. Good, now if you look to your right, can you see the big boulders in the grass?
Yeah.
Good, okay, now we're going to turn right, there's a slope here, which I want you to go up onto for me. But as you go up onto the slope, just make sure you don't go onto the grass because you can see all the boulders are in the grass, aren't they? Good, so come nicely around onto the slope for me. Good, so keep it as nicely up on the slope as you can, right up on the slope. Don't be shy, get right up on that slope. But just don't go in the grass. Good, brilliant. Bring your nose around straight, good, and gently stop there. Stop. Brilliant. Okay, so stop. You've got to keep your foot on that brake. So 2 reasons we stop you here. Number 1, again, to really get you to understand this lack of vision. Everybody thinks, off-roading, I'm in a great big 4x4, I'll see everything. But you can't see anything. Look right in front of you. If there was more boulders there, you would never see them. Yeah, because you can't see what's right in front of you. And also the other reason to show you here. So can you see this last part shows you what sort of angles you've got. So we've got 11-degree tip to the left here, what we call the horizontal, and you've got a 4-degree on the vertical. You're actually going down slightly on 4 degrees. Yeah, okay. This is important because let's say that the maximum this car could do, it's not, but let's say it was 15 degrees. Would you agree? You'd be looking at that thinking, I'm getting a bit close to my maximum already. Maybe I should find a better way through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then off you go. Then dead straight down into the gravel area. Good. And then follow that silver car around a little bit to the left, to the right even. Good. And then back round to the left here so that we avoid the grass here because there's more boulders in this grass here. So round you go, all the way around, nice and tight. All the way around, keep it coming. Brilliant. And we'll fork off to the left, please, off to the left. Stay on the grass, on the gravel, sorry, not on the grass. Off the grass, never go in the grass. The grass has got all the big rocks in it. So forking off to the left, forking off to the left. Good, and straighten up for me. Good, nice and gentle. Good, keep it moving. Fraction more to your side, you're just going in the grass, that's why it's beeping at you, because it's picking up all of that grass. Good, as you are, straight on through. Good, brilliant, and then bring your nose round to the right. And again, it now opens up into 2 forks, would you agree?
Yep.
Yep, we're going to take the right-hand fork this time. But don't just drive in there, bring your nose up so you can aim yourself towards it and have a look.
Which way?
This one here. So that's the left fork, that's the right fork. Good, and gently stop. Good, because before you go into any of these areas, you've got to plan it. Now, this is different from the last one, because with the last one, you had loads of open room around you, would you agree? This one you haven't, yeah? You can't go up onto the embankment too much, because you've got the great big boulders up there, and you certainly can't go off to the left, because we don't know what's in that area at all. So all you can do is look at it. Is there any bits of it that look better or worse than the other bits? Anything there looks better or worse than the other bits?
Well, there's a massive one right in the middle.
Yeah, okay, and there's also a big one right down the end on your side. Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Would you agree with me though, in this case I can't work my way around it. And this is where you need to have a mind map. So back at the other one you could have had a mind map of, right, when I get to this area I'll steer back away from that one or back. Here you can't. You've got to accept that these guys are going to be there. I just need to deal with them when I get there. So this is where you would check all your settings to make sure you're happy with your settings, make sure you've got the correct ride height, all that sort of stuff. But when you're ready, take us on through. Good, brilliant, as you are. Don't use too much throttle, only when it needs it. Good, perfect. Good, so that's the first big one, but would you agree, because you're going lovely and controlled, it's not that bad, is it? But you imagine if you're doing that super fast, what it would actually feel like, and what it would probably do to the car. So you've got the big one coming up on your side, not much you can do about it, you're going to get it, there it is. And you're going to get the back on it as well, there it is, for the passengers. Good. Straight towards the burnt out tree stumps. Good. And now look over your shoulder to the right, swing us round. There's a nice mound in the middle there. Can you see the mound?
Yeah.
Okay, so go up to the mound. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Up onto the mound, nicely onto the mound. And now look over to the right. See the hill with the orange poles on it?
Yeah.
Line yourself up so you're directly towards it. Line yourself up so you're directly towards it. Just keep coming round. Good, keep coming round, keep coming round. And now straighten up for me, Oliver. Good, and stop there. Good, okay, now would you agree? The boulders that are right at the bottom you can't see here at all.
I can see that one. But
Yeah, so it's about knowing that they're there, yeah? Look at the top, there's boulders at the top, and you won't be surprised to know there's boulders down the other end as well. So you never want to be steering, you want to be lining yourself up for it. Now, can you see there's a couple of holes being dug here, okay? That's where people are accelerating too hard, because what happens is they start doing wheel spin. To get over this is no different from what you just did over there. Over there, you let the car do the work. As the car slowed down on those bigger rocks, you gently throttle control. So that pound coin again, just squeezing it on. Now, what you don't want to do here is go on, come off, go on, come off, because the car will just keep slowing back down. You want to just keep a nice momentum. The idea is to keep the car going at the same slow speed momentum right to the top. However, what's on the other side? And the answer is, well, from here we can't see. So you never drive over a hill. You always get to the top and stop at the top to make a plan. Okay, happy with that?
Okay.
Good. So very, very gentle over to the throttle. Good. Start to increase a bit of throttle control. Good. Keep this speed all the way up for me. Don't steer. Put it straight. Keep this speed all the way. Good. Keep it on. Good. That's it. Keep it on. Don't come off of it. Keep it on so it rolls all the way up. Brilliant. And then stop. Brake, brake, brake. Right. Good. Always going to get on the brake nice and firmly, because if you go over too much and it was wet grass or mud with all the weight of the car, what would that do? Yeah, you just slide straight down. So now let's look at that concept again of first gear on your bicycle. Push M for manual. Good. If you look in your display, see it now says manual gear 2. Good. Squeeze on the paddle here and it will put it into manual gear 1. Perfect. Good. Now, on your bicycle, you pedal as fast as you like in first gear. It doesn't go very fast. And traditionally, this is how 4x4s always used to control themselves coming down hills. So we're going to show you it. It will go at a lovely controlled speed. You've just got to trust that it will do it. So on the count of 3, you're not going to gently come off. You're just going to take your foot completely off and just steer it dead straight as you are.
There's
Okay?
a deer there.
It's all right. 1, 2, 3, off. Just let it go all the way down. And can you feel it control? And you can hear the engine note come up as well. Yeah, and it will do that on a really steep hill. Yeah, it really, really will. Push the M button so it goes out of manual back into drive. Take us through the mud. Be careful, because you're quite right. The deer was just down here in the bushes. Just be careful as you go. Fraction to your side, otherwise you'll take out the little tree on this side. There he is. He's having his breakfast. Get over to your side a little bit. That's it. Good. Just gently as you go through. People often say, "Oh, you keep deer." We don't keep deer. They're all wild. There he goes.
Which way?
And then follow it round to the right. Good, gentle, gentle, gentle. Nice and controlled. Good, straight one up. And we actually had a couple of them yesterday running around on the track on the other side, which is not good, because obviously the AMGs are running around there really fast. Good, and follow it nicely through, please. Good, okay, so that was the traditional way of coming down a hill. Dead straight as you're going for me, Oliver. That's the traditional way using manual gear. So the other way of coming downhill on these more modern 4x4s is DSR, dynamic downhill speed regulator. But if we're going to show you downhill speed regulator, would you agree it therefore needs a hill to come down? So we're going to go and find ourselves a hill that we can go up, so we can show it to you coming down again. Good, brilliant. Keep it going down to the gully, and then we're going to turn left in the gully, please. So we left into the gully. Good, nice and gentle as you come round. Good, start to straighten your nose out. Good, nice and controlled. Bring yourself round. Good, and line yourself up for this hill. So bring your nose round a little. Good, and then straighten up. Straight. No, you're going the wrong way. Straighten up. Okay, so give me control, because we need to be straight on this one. Give me control. Because if we're not straight, you'll have to try and steer as you go. You don't want to be steering. Okay, foot on the brake. Select reverse gear for me. Select reverse gear. On the gear stick all the way up as far as it'll go. Good, just let the car roll backwards dead straight. Don't change the steering, just let it roll backwards. Just want to give yourself a little bit of momentum to go onto the hill. Good, and then gently stop. Good, back into D for drive. Good, now into D for drive, you didn't do it, push all the way down as far as okay. Good, okay. So the first, okay, foot on the brake. Okay, keep your foot on the brake. First thing you need to do is set up DSR. So push the button, and your display will tell you DSR set at 4. Good. With this handle here, click it down on that handle until it goes down to 1. Keep watching it until it goes all the way down to 1. Good, okay. So what you've said to DSR is, if we utilise you, don't go any faster than 1 mile an hour. So why are we doing it now? Because we're not on the other side of the hill yet, and the answer is because we might get stuck halfway up. So having everything set up and ready before you start, really important. This forward planning all the time. But to get up here, exactly the same as you did on the other one, it's just a steeper hill, so it will try and pull you back a bit harder, so you just need to be more controlled with the throttle. But just the same speed, lovely and slow and controlled, right to the very top for me. Ready? Good, so a little bit of throttle to get it moving. Good, bit more. Hold that throttle there. Good, now start to increase the throttle just a little bit at a time. Good, keep increasing it. That's it, good, keep increasing it. Good, hold the throttle there because the car's moving. Doesn't need any more if it's moving. Brilliant, just keep it going like that. Brilliant, and be ready to stop when you get to the top, and gently stop. Fantastic, really good. Stop. Really good throttle control, okay? Brilliant stuff. That's exactly how you should go up any steep hill. Keep it a nice, consistent speed. Okay, now, to come down this side, we're going to let DSR do the job. Now, with manual, remember, it was really smooth, wasn't it? Yeah. DSR is going to do brakes for you, but it's really clever. It does individual brakes. When you put your foot on the brake pedal, you do all 4 brakes. This will do individual brakes as it needs to. And you'll hear the difference and feel the difference. So on the count of 3, you're going to have to steer us a little bit to the right as we go, but on the count of 3, just take your foot off. So 1, 2, 3, off you go. Good, steer it around a bit. Good, brilliant. And trust the car, it will do the job for you. You'll hear it and feel it there. You can really feel it kicking in now. And if you listen, you can hear it crunching as well as it goes down, Oliver, because it's actually braking in certain areas for you to try and control itself. Good, fantastic. And then as you reach the bottom, good, then you can turn the DSR off again. And you'll feel it instantly release the DSR. There you go. Okay, out into this area and then swing it round to the left and up this hill on the left. So round through this one now, look through this window. Good, now it's not the steepest hill you've done, but look at how rough it is, so careful as you go. It's all about good throttle control to get you up to the top. Good, so keep it going, nice and controlled. Good, try and keep this momentum all the way. Good, try not to do too much steering on the way. Put it back to straight for me. Good, keep it going. And gently stop at the stop. Brilliant. Yeah, okay. So coming down this side, we're going to just do it all on your brake control. So you're heading down towards where the black car is, nice and controlled, a little bit to your side as you go. That's it, and just do it all brake control all the way down. Good, and then take us down, follow the black car in. Good, now then, we've already spoke about making sure we find out how deep a river would be, but you also want to know what the floor surface is like, because if the floor surface is really rocky, you need to deal with that, or it could be silt and mud, couldn't it? You need to deal with that. And then finally, the speed that you're going. Look at the black car going in front, yeah? Can you see how he's pushing the water away from him? Yeah, and that's what you need to do when you're going through water. And you can see your water moving away in front of you? Yeah. Brilliant. So keep up with it, but not faster than it, because if you go faster than it, you just drive straight into it. A little bit to your side, just a little bit. That's it, good. Perfect. And keep it going like you are, really good. And then follow the black one out. Good, brilliant. So that wave of water you could see, imagine going faster than it. You just catch it up and drive into it, and then of course that could flood your engine. Also, if you go too slow, it just gets away from you, and then of course it can bounce off the banks of the river and just come back at you. Yeah, you've seen that happen before. Yeah, and then gently as you go, nice and controlled. Good, speed is fine. That will give you all the time to get the control right. Good, and now you can gently accelerate away. Good, brilliant.
This is actually really fun.
Good. That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, it's only a half-hour experience, so we've had your half hour. But so, what brought you here today? Was it a birthday present or just a day out? Or?
Yeah, no, wait. What was it?
Christmas present.
Did you go?
Christmas.
Okay, did you go? You got to come out. Good, and then bring us round to the right. Follow the black one round. Hopefully you'll go a bit further down. Come right in behind him. Okay, go in front of him because he stopped well early. So let's go past him. Good, and then back over to the right hand side. All the way over to the right. Keep it coming in. Bring your nose round. And stop there for me. Good, okay, keep your foot on the brake. Oh, otherwise it's going to go. Put the car into neutral. Lift the gear selector gently up. Good, and now take it out of low range. Good, now you can put it back into park by pushing the silver button. Good, and put the handbrake back on. Push the handbrake on. The handbrake was the button right down there. Right down there. Right down there. That's it. No, with the big. That's it. That's it. Push it forwards. Push forwards. That's it. Good. Brilliant. And then relax. Good. Now we're not off-roading anymore. So if you turn it back to comfort. Good. And then what that will do is it will take all the height off for you, so you don't have to worry about doing it. Brilliant. Fantastic. And relax. Okay. So let's fill out your book for you, Oliver. So you've done all of your red level skills for off-roading, and your red level skills are understanding the seat setup and the preparation. The preparation and the observation are probably the two most important things. Not just setting up the car for off-roading, but looking at what you're about to do and planning your way through it. Yeah. Low range, understanding how that works. Ride settings, all your different instruments, your throttle control, so not acceleration, throttle control. Engine braking, that's using the gears, yeah, using manual gear 1, whereas off-road braking is using your downhill speed regulator. Ascending slopes, going up them, descending slopes, coming down them, rocky surfaces and water as well. So that's all your red level sorted. And then if I come back to this page, so you've driven a GLE 250 today, it's your first session for half an hour. Head check. Head check is about how you feel, and you said something right at the end which was brilliant. You said, oh, this is really good fun. Well, would you agree when you started off you went, oh, I'm going to crash? Can you see how your mindset has changed over time? But of course, as you get to the point where you go, oh, this is really good, I can do this, of course, what generally happens is speeds start coming up and things all get a little bit hectic and out of control. It's actually quite good, really, for you to be a little bit nervous, because at least then you've got a bit of like, oh, okay, I'm a little bit fearful of this, let me really think it through. Does that make sense? And that's what we mean by head check. But I'm going to write on here, brilliant. First 4x4 drive. Nice control and good understanding. So, well done. Okay, now you're going to score yourself, okay? So the scale is 1 to 10. 1 low, 10 high. Doesn't necessarily mean good or bad, it just means 1 low, 10 high. Where would you put yourself for your throttle control?
Probably 4 maybe.
4, okay. Where would you put yourself for your brake controls?
Brake. I kept on forgetting to keep my foot on the brake.
Okay, so would you give yourself on that?
Probably a 4 again.
Okay. Planning. That's looking ahead, making decisions, thinking about how you're going to get through, all that sort of stuff.
Maybe a 6.
Okay. And then finally steering.
Steering, 7.
7, okay. For your steering, I'm going to go 6, 1 below you. Okay, don't do anything wrong with it, but if you think about it, if you're already up at a 7, you've only got 8, 9 and 10 to go. You're almost pretty much perfect. For your brake control, I'm going to match you at the 4 as well. The idea really of the book is when you look back at it, you can go, oh yeah, I remember that, and you'll remember when you look at it, we both marked it fairly low, you'll go, yeah, I kept forgetting to use it. But for your throttle control, I'm going to go higher than you. I'm going to give you a 5 for your throttle control, and for your planning, I'll go higher than you as well. I think you did both of those really well. Your throttle control is brilliant. Coming up that big slope, you did a real good job. All the way to the top, beautifully done, really, really nice. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Good, brilliant. So if you've enjoyed it, always write this one, come again. So you said it was a Christmas present. So this time round, when it's your birthday, you know what to ask for. Yeah, if you want to come back. And if you do come back, Oliver, you'd work on your amber level. That's your next level up. Yep, okay. So that's yours. You take that. Now, when you get back in, guys, if you've got 5 minutes to do it, you don't mind doing it. If you don't mind filling that out for me, that is just a nice little feedback form, say about the experience and what we did well, what we didn't do well, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
And that's for you as well. Brilliant. Let me push the button down here. Good. Everything you've done is also recorded. So it's all on this USB stick, okay? And then what will happen is when the host takes that back indoors, they'll put it on their computer, and if you want to actually watch it, you can see it on their computer in there as well. Good, let's swap over.